Hey, how's it going everyone? In this video, we have some news on the real reason why Dolph Ziggler won the NXT Championship, Cody Rhodes' planned WrestleMania 38 opponent, and a lot more. But before we begin, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe for more wrestling news. Miro signs a new deal to stay with AEW. Aside from winning the TNT Championship, Miro has not necessarily had the best time in AEW because of all of the injuries that he's had to deal with. However, there is at least some good news regarding his status with the company, because according to Fightful.com, former TNT champion Miro has agreed to sign a 4-year contract extension. It was also stated that the deal was actually agreed upon late last year, but didn't get signed until now. Therefore, it looks like fans can expect to see Miro on AEW television for at least 4 more years. AEW Dynamite drops in the ratings this week. Despite a loaded card for this week's episode of AEW Dynamite, which featured 2 big title matches, and not to mention Jeff Hardy's debut, the ratings for this week's episode dropped again, because according to a new report from Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, this week's episode of AEW Dynamite drew 945,000 viewers and a .40 in the key demo rating, which is down from last week's show, which drew 966,000 viewers. Real reason why Dolph Ziggler won the NXT Championship. Although some fans had mixed reactions with Dolph Ziggler winning the NXT title this week, while speaking on the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer talked about WWE's decision to have Ziggler win the NXT Championship, stating that Dolph Ziggler's NXT title reign won't last long because he is just a transitional champion. Furthermore, WWE's plan is to have Braun Breaker win the title back at a bigger show, presumably at Stand and Deliver in just a few weeks. Cody Rhodes' planned opponent for WrestleMania 38 revealed. With WrestleMania 38 just 3 weeks away, recently it was reported that WWE wants Cody Rhodes to sign with them soon because they want him for the show of shows in Dallas, Texas. And if he ends up signing with WWE, his opponent for the event has now been reportedly revealed. Because according to a new report from Fightful.com, sources have indicated that Cody Rhodes was pitched as Seth Rollins' WrestleMania 38 opponent, but that is obviously up in the air at this time. Therefore, it looks like fans can expect to see Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 38 if Cody Rhodes chooses to sign with WWE. So now guys, I want to give you my thoughts and my opinions on all of the topics that we discussed today, starting off with our first topic of Miro signing a new deal with AEW. And according to Fightful.com, they are reporting that Miro has signed a 4-year extension to stay with AEW, which means that he will stay with the company until 2026. And in my opinion, guys, I think that Miro, ever since he debuted on AEW, he's had a pretty good run. However, because of all of the injuries that he has sustained, his push, I guess you could say, has been pretty much halted. But hopefully when he returns, I think it's from a hamstring injury. Hopefully he will receive another push again, because when he was TNT champion, he was a very good champion, in my opinion. Now moving on to our second topic, the ratings for this week's episode of AEW Dynamite dropped again. According to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, this week's episode of AEW Dynamite drew 945,000 viewers and a .40 in the key demo rating, which is down from last week's episode, which drew 966,000 viewers, which is pretty surprising because a lot of AEW fans or just wrestling fans pretty much knew that Jeff Hardy was going to make his debut on Dynamite, and it's pretty surprising that AEW Dynamite was unable to hit the 1 million viewer mark, aside from all of the surprises and also from the 2 big championship matches that they featured on the show. So hopefully AEW will bounce back to 1 million viewers next week if they book, good matches again. The next topic that we discussed was the reason why Dolph Ziggler won the NXT Championship. And according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, he is reporting that even though Dolph Ziggler's win was received with mixed reactions, Dolph Ziggler will be a transitional champion, and Braun Breaker is expected to reclaim the NXT Championship, presumably at Stand and Deliver in just a few weeks. So pretty much, Dolph Ziggler's title reign will just be for a few weeks. But it was pretty cool to see him win the NXT title, and I'm interested to see what happens with Dolph Ziggler and also Braun Breaker and what they have planned for Stand and Deliver. I believe on April 2nd is when that pay-per-view will go down. The next topic that we discussed was the planned opponent for Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 38. And according to a new report from Fightful Select, sources have indicated that Seth Rollins is going to be or was pitched to be Cody Rhodes' opponent for WrestleMania 38. However, as we all know, Cody Rhodes at this point in time has not agreed to sign a deal with WWE, and he remains a free agent right now. So, in my opinion, guys, I do think that Cody Rhodes will end up signing with WWE. However, I guess he's holding out to see other options that could be potentially better, but I do expect him to sign with WWE, and I am excited if he ends up signing with them to see Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 38. So hopefully that ends up happening. So with that being said, guys, that is all the news that we have for today. Make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of the topics that we discussed today, starting off with Miro signing a new contract to stay with AEW for 4 more years, the ratings for this week's episode of AEW Dynamite, the real reason why Dolph Ziggler won the NXT Championship, and also Cody Rhodes' planned opponent for WrestleMania 38. Make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, and as always, I will see you guys on the next one.